There we go. We're live.
Finally.
Okay. See if we can hear ourselves.
There we go. We're live.
Test.
Final. Okay.
Cool.
Test.
Final.
All right. Well, let's get this show started. Okay. So, welcome everyone to the sweet Lew Special. Pain in the ass on trying to get on Facebook, but hey, you know it is what it is. So let's get started on. I hate that goddamn echo. Get started. Okay. What's been?
Nothing much, dude. Just enjoying my 1 week break before going back.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Damn echo. That's the truth, man. So, a lot of things going on. What do we got up there?
Word of awesomeness.
Yeah. If this is going to pick up. Okay, immigration.
Yeah.
What's your take on it? What's going on?
Whole situation, huh? I was really intrigued on that one story that I was talking about earlier. Father and the little kid. And then how the whole media wants to blame Trump on that. That wasn't the father's stupidity. Literally. I had a guy at the gym today come up to me about that story. I never heard about it. You know, I guess it happened just recently. And he showed me the article. And legitimately, the article, I forgot what article it was from, but they were blaming Trump. I was like, well, how are you going to blame Trump for that dude's stupidity? You brought a child into danger. And the child died.
Yeah. Well, that's just like, you know, the left's agenda of trying to, if anyone farts against the wind, it's going to be Trump's fault. Oh, he should have opened the border sooner. The guy was seeking asylum from Guatemala or whatever. But yeah, I mean, he was. Why did he want to swim across the river with an
infant? With a fucking infant, dude. It's sad and it's sickening. And then you see photos of it, and then they're gonna blame somebody. And who do they blame? The Don himself. Irritating, dude. But I also read another thing that Mexico deployed 15,000 troops or something like that, or 1,500 troops to the border. What's up with all that?
I don't know for sure. Hold on. Wait.
Oh, for the setting.
Yeah. I don't know. It's it goes to Trump trying to put pressure to do something to try to alleviate the American burden on the border. So anyway, but yeah, everything's always just a mess, man. Everything. So yeah, that's basically why they're there and going to the, deploying their troops or whatever the hell they're doing. I don't know, man. And it's hard for me to believe really anything of what the fuck is going on nowadays because there's just so much bullshit going on.
Yeah. I agree with that. But the whole thing with the immigration stuff, in my opinion, honestly, I think they need to change or have a reform on the citizenship process because it's so difficult. It's so fucking difficult, dude. Instead, a lot of these people are paying money to pay coyotes in the cartel to actually deliver them out to the border and sneak them through. And majority of these guys die. or they get caught.
Has anyone actually seen like the inside of these facilities? You know what? The one thing that's been like really irritating the fuck out of me lately was that I've been watching like these news pieces, and it's like, oh, this professor of law, or whatever the fuck her name is, oh man, these are terrible situations. This is a bad conditions. These kids have lice. They're getting the flu. Blah blah blah. They're sleeping on the floor. Kids are taking care of other kids. And it's like, then they go and say, but they're only supposed to be in these facilities for 72 hours. And then she's like, well, some of them are there for like 9 months. And it's like, well, which is it, man? Where's the proof for people? It's always just word of mouth. And I talked to a friend of mine recently, and I'm like, has any congressman gone down there? Yeah. And he's like, oh, AOC went down there. She saw the conditions.
Okay. Yeah. Dressed in her expensive ass outfit, expecting everyone to pay for her college debt. That was another conversation I had today too, because Bernie and all those left wing nuts are spreading the word about paying off debt, these college debts. And I forgot who said it, but they made a video about it saying the percentage of college students that have debt is so minuscule to the actual working class of Americans. Those that actually went to college, paid off their debt, or those that never went to college at all and are pretty successful within the trades are going to be expected to pay off the debt of these students that haven't even started work in the actual society. That's fucking stupid. That's so stupid.
Well, where else were they getting funds?
I don't know. Mars? Iran? I don't know.
Well, yeah, we'll get on. On to that one. Oh man. Okay, because I still had it. All right, yeah. So let's. I wanted to finish on the immigration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Commentary, because like it crosses over. Anyway, so they're gonna have to leave a message. Anyway, so all right, one thing. Increase of immigrants coming over across the border. All right, so this was a proven fact even by like MSNBC, CNN, that there has been a large increase of immigrants coming across the border after Trump had just announced, like more sanctions. One, why is that? Which I still have. You hear that echo? See, it's a pain in the ass. And so, like, I have a theory that there's some kind of there's like a conspiracy. There's like that. I feel like there's someone of like a major amount of power and money causing this, doing it on purpose to make the Trump administration look bad, for one thing. Because why else would there be an increase? Oh yeah, George Soros. Leads chorus of wealthy calling for a new wealth tax. Tax the ultra rich more. George Soros and stuff. There's nothing on there about.
No, but Alex Jones always talks about his ass.
Yeah.
Always. About how he is the mastermind paying low-key laundering money to these caravans to get people from Central America, South America to the border just to cause the ruckus. And, I'm a huge supporter of Alex Jones. I don't care what anyone thinks. I think he's crazy as fuck, but he has a lot of spitting knowledge. And his sources, wherever the fuck he gets them, a lot of his shit has come true. I can't deny that. I get it. He's very controversial with, the whole Sandy Hook thing. Apparently, just recently, he got sued by the guy that did the Pepe the Frog meme. Did you hear about that one? He owns like 15. Yeah, he had to pay $15,000 because he lost a lawsuit for using Pepe the Frog the creator that created that meme. But anyway, long story short, he'd always blame George Soros. He said he's been following him for years, and he's been the mastermind of this, like the ultra elites that have been controlling the crap that's been going around in the world, especially with the whole immigration thing here in America. Is it true? I don't fucking know. I want to believe it. I want to believe.
I just think that there's someone behind it. There has to be a reason for like the increase, like what's going on in Central America that flux in. I don't know, but so like if they know that they're going to be separating families at the border, why do they continue taking that risk? Right, you know?
Yeah. Oh. So why are they still doing that? So when the families come, they separate them?
Yeah, supposedly.
See, I don't know. Like you said, is there actual proof of that?
Well, there seems to be a common consensus across the board that it is happening, and that is continuing to happen. So, I want to put these. But yeah, that's from my understanding that they're still doing it. I guess there's this process of like they come into these facilities and then it's like separate the kids from the family members, because that seems to be a common term on all of these left-wing news stations is family members. You know, they're not saying parents necessarily, and I find that kind of but yeah, so family members. And then the adults are supposed to go through the due process of the courts, and because they're technically criminals trying to get across the border illegally, and so the children are not supposed to be charged.
Correct.
So like it's like this. It's like, oh hey, there's a meth house, right? Then the parents are producing meth. And so the kids go off to CPS,
mm-hmm.
and the adults go to jail, go to court.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, because they don't I could give some little leeway to this.
Mm.
Oh, never mind. I'm gonna leave that down there. Is that I think we could stop the family separation part.
Sure.
Just keep them together. I think that'd be okay. Considering the situation, but still, like that is still in and of itself is not a deterrent from these people still wanting to cross the border. Why is that? Because it's probably still better off here than it is to wherever they're coming from. I got into a conversation with someone about like what is a good alternative. Okay, yeah. So, what would be an appropriate alternative to that? What would be a more legal, safe way of making them go through their due process without having to go through these facilities? And so, one guy said, he's like, "Oh, you put monitoring." And I'm like, monitoring? He's like, "Yeah, it's been done before. It has a 90% success rate." This guy's an ultra. Yeah, like being able to monitor where they go. I guess like an ankle bracelet. I don't know. I assume that's what he meant. I don't know.
While being on U.S. territory? I didn't pick up. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Like, why the fuck would you spend all that time and money, and then you have to spend money on individuals monitoring thousands of people that are walking around with these bracelets? You know, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That is stupid.
But yeah, I mean, it's still not a deterrent. I mean, you've seen the shitholes that they're coming from, and they say that this is a shithole that they're coming into. Some of them, and the same lady's like saying that they're trying to reunite with family members. that live in the United States, and so on and so. I really wish there was a good alternative to just eliminate the goddamn echo.
Well, after the podcast, we can toy around with it, man. I'm pretty sure there is.
Need to get a better mic.
Think so? Yeah, probably. Damn you, Ice Ball.
Yeah. So like I said, every video, it never shows the conditions of the facilities. It's always taken to someone's word for it. It's always like some guy like asking like the questions that, because like this is another reason why that I feel that it is a conspiracy, or like there's some underlying factor, because everyone knows that if you bring up any kind of controversy that involves children, it really attacks at the heart of the American people, and that's how it gets a lot of things, changed or done, whatever. So you never see pictures of the conditions, and then there was this actress or famous person that came out and like shared some pictures of like the inside of them like sleeping with the the blanket, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck, and so there was a timestamp on there from 2015, and it was like, well, that was the Obama era, so like it's a little weird.
Yeah, I wonder why. That's the media for you. It is. That is definitely the media for you. They always got to find something to go against, obviously, either Republican or Trump. And they don't want to bring any blame to the Obama administration. And they're the ones that... Aren't they the ones that implemented that? Or was it Bush or Clinton? It was one of the two. Which administrations actually did that separation thing? It was one of the... It was before Obama. I want to say it was Bush.
I think so.
Either that or Clinton. It was one of the two. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think so. Might have been. I think we were talking about like the asylum thing.
Is it the asylum thing?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, the immigration, the laws, they do need to be changed. They need to be fixed. And yeah, there are problems going on in Central America. I have family in Central America because I'm half Central American, from my mom's side.
Really?
Oh yeah, and there's problems going on there. I asked. There's a big divide down there. Back in the 80s, communism was a big thing there, and there was civil war, and it was pretty deadly and bad. A lot of people died, and the Reagan administration during that time sent aid to those countries so that they had help to eliminate communism, because there was that big fear of that rising to the north. But right now, as far as I'm tracking, and I don't want to say that this information I'm saying is true, but there is a divide in parties out there where the Communism Party is coming back, and there's a large support for it. So there's fears, like especially in Central America, that the countries are going to turn like Venezuela. They don't want that.
No. Yeah, I can see that. Definitely. I just think that what would be an appropriate alternative, and I mean, you can't put them up in a Motel 6. Another big issue that I don't agree with is that cost of like $750 a day for each child in there that they're being charged, and someone just, it's a corporation that's just feeding off of the federal government. And John Kelly, or is it John Kelly?
I don't know. John Kelly.
He was on the staff at the White House staff.
I'll just take your word
Former
for it.
general.
Is it? Yeah, is it John Kelly?
Yeah, I think it's John. I don't know. Either way, he was put on the board of directors for the corporation that's taken over in housing and taking in all that money. So kind of weird. Is it John Kelly? Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So another thing, like the reporters, everyone I say on there is like, with the family. Not saying that they're with their parents and they're trying to reunite with other family members. I think the fix about this is the one thing is just to stop separating the families, because then there's the issue that some of them brought up that may or may not be true about when they separate the families, and then they deport the adults, then it's the children stuck behind, and then be under custody for like God knows how long, until they try to track down the actual parents or family members that they're supposed to belong to. Now, the thing is that they're saying family members, and I have a strong belief that there's kids being separated, and the reason why they're not going to being sent back to their parents is because it wasn't their parents that brought them across the border.
Explain.
Well, mules, man. It's just
Okay.
coyotes,
The coyotes.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know that there is, easier chance of crossing the border if they have a child. It doesn't have to necessarily be theirs. What's the proof? Where's the proof? Are they coming across the border with all their legal documents? No.
They're not. No, there's no
paperwork at all. I didn't even think about that at all. What were you on the shitter and just thought about that? Like, oh, well, no shit. Well, honestly, what is opinionized now? What is your view of how to fix this situation? In your opinion, if you can sit down in front of all these individuals to spit out a plan, what would be the best plan to initiate?
I think that's a good question.
I have a radical one.
Let's say we do a tag and release, right?
Okay.
Like we used to. Just say, oh, we got him. You guys got 72 hours. We're going to send you back across the border. Now, let's say that we create a law that says 3 strikes, you're out. You try 3 times, and you're going to prison for 10 years. If that is not a deterrent, because, and I know what the left is going to say. It's like that, like they said on The View, this is not going to happen to someone from the Netherlands. I'm like, listen here, motherfucker. We don't have immigrants from the Netherlands that are becoming an issue.
No.
They're not crossing the border across from Canada.
It's so true.
They're not.
Oh god, that's so true.
Yeah, they're not smuggling kids. They're not smuggling drugs. It's not because they're white. And that is, I've said this as an argument. Even if it was not Bolivia, but let's say Czech Republic, south of our border, the same thing would happen. It's not because they're brown. It's not because of the color of the skin. It's because, where's the rule of law about legal immigration and illegal immigration? Where are we going to draw the line for that? And it's ridiculous. Anyway, what was I getting at? So like a 3 strikes.
Third rule.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe a 3 strike out. Turn or burn, because I'm confident they'll try again. But what are they claiming asylum from? There's Ukraine. That's been in the middle of a war for 5 years. And do we give them asylum? No, my wife had to fucking wait God knows how long still. Just like asylum from what? What the hell is going on here? Uh-oh. Anyway, boy.
Test. Test. There we go. Okay. No, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was weird. So, one of the things I've talked about was creating Mexico into a U.S. territory. But the problems that would have is like pretty dramatic, especially since their government isn't.
I brought that up.
Yeah, exactly. But their government isn't like sustained like ours. It isn't built like ours. It's built off of like black market, like the cartel. They have so much power there. If we were to do something like create it as a U.S. territory, do you personally think that our economy and theirs would thrive, and there wouldn't be this issue of citizenship at all, or crossing of the borders, and etc.? Kind of like how we have Puerto Rico, Guam, and Samoa, and stuff like that. You know, they're legally U.S. citizens, and they come here if they want to, but some stay on the island.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely one alternative. There's one thing that I thought about. It is quite extreme.
Yeah.
Maybe a middle ground is that maybe opening up military bases in Mexico, and then that we create a joint law saying that we have the same jurisdiction as Mexican military and Mexican police, and we police it for them. As long as we get to tap that in the economy.
And a bunch of Joes, you know, get stashing in Mexico. Doesn't sound like a good idea, bro. Your boy's been to Mexico.
You been to Venezuela?
Yeah, dude. I don't know. See, at the same time, it's just asking for trouble.
Well, what's the solution? I know what the left solution. Let them in.
Yeah. Open borders. We see how Europe, how well that happened. You know, Europe has open borders, but they've gotten strict, especially with all those terrorist attacks.
Yeah, terrorist attacks that they don't want us to hear about.
Exactly. But is it smart on their end to not publicize it?
Nope.
It goes one of those ways. I remember when I was out there, the borders were open. I can just drive into France. The only time I got stopped was going to Amsterdam.
Well, that's because the European Union has laws about that.
About what?
The borders between the European Union.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only place I ever got stopped was going to Amsterdam. That was the only time. All the other countries that we've gone through, they didn't stop us. They didn't care. We just drove right through. But it was scary because we got stopped by an actual military checkpoint. And, they searched our vehicle. They asked for our passports. We didn't have passports, man. We only had was our CAT card. And during that time, this was when the transitioning of the CAT card and passport, they were going to stop recognizing CAT cards. A CAC. I can't remember what I keep calling it CAT card, but the CAC. Yeah. As a source of passport, and they don't recognize it anymore. It used to be back in the day.
Talk.
Test. Yep. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
But oh man, yeah. And so the other things that they're saying that like, oh, these kids have lice. They're spreading the flu, and it's like one politician was like, they brought the lice with them, and then the MSNBC guy was, how do you know that? You don't know that. You don't know that. Like, we're giving them lice.
Here you go. It's served in the chow hall.
Yeah, great.
Oh god.
I wish there were.
You have to constantly go back and forth, and
I'm trying to eliminate.
I'm trying to eliminate this echo.
Yeah,
you see,
I hate, yeah.
and it's so annoying. If anyone out there happens to know a remedy for it, please let me know, because I hate it.
So in a sec. I gotta go leak one more time.
Be right back.
Be right back. Gotta pee.
No problem. No problem.
All right. Here we go.
Go ahead, talk.
Test.
Yeah. So, anything else?
Oh, okay. Let's see. So the lice and the flu. That's what we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now the inhumane conditions. There's no proof, you're saying, of this. So
No.
they're getting their meals. They're getting their. Do they get vaccinated?
I don't know.
That I couldn't tell you.
See, that would be an interesting one to look up too. Like, how much money are we spending on this?
Billions and billions of dollars, man. I mean, it's fucking nuts. I think I got a solution. You just give me a thumbs up when you're ready to. Anyway, but yeah, just billions of dollars, man. And I don't see the inhumane conditions. I don't know what's going on. I mean, like, I guess there's speculation that they're sleeping on the floors. Again, I don't see it. And all the old pictures that we see are from like 2015. And so, like I said, a lot of it I just call bullshit on. And oh fuck, man, I don't know. Again, I think the solution is back, man. I don't know. Fine them. I don't know. I mean, open borders is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And if you believe in open borders, you're one of the dumbest fucking people on this earth. Because, like, how anyone can fly to fucking Mexico, man.
I know.
And then just be like not vetted when they go across the border.
I agree with you. We don't need open borders. We really don't. It's just going to cause more crime, more havoc, and more money wasted, man. Because they're gonna live off our off our economy, and who's gonna pay for that? Us. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen, and we're gonna be broke, and then there's gonna be civil war, and then, bam, we're no longer get to go back to the moon. Thanks, Obama. No, I'm joking.
I think, yeah, because like, what would I do if I knew that there was open borders on the south? I'd go to Mexico.
Yeah.
What do you think the Russians would do? What do you think the Iranians would do? What do you think enemy of the United States? Open borders. Oh, just go. Yeah, there's open borders when they're a fucking territory. That's an open border. When they're the 51st state, then yeah, that's an open border. That's okay. It's an ongoing. It's just a big ploy, man. Because there's more people coming across the border now, more than ever, and only because they're probably getting paid, set up, and it's just a real weird situation for me. You don't ever see the conditions. People claim that senators, or not senators, but congressmen have gone down there, but it's just Ocasio-Cortez taking like sad photos at just a fence, and then just like CBP officers right across, just staring at her like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
She's a joke. She's a complete joke, man. I don't understand how people voted for her, and she still has a following. She still has a fucking following, man. She's literally the enemy of the United States, and people want her here.
Yeah.
I don't get it. When did communism become cool? Like, I thought if there was communism in the street, weren't we allowed to like take them down back in the 60s and 50s? Wasn't it?
Hold on.
You know? Gee.
And you know what? It's funny that you brought that up about like the communism and how it's becoming more popular now. It's just becoming called democratic socialism, and like that entire Oregon senator thing. I got into a lengthy argument with an old high school friend of mine over this entire thing.
I want to hear it.
Okay, so basically, I was trying to tell him, I'm like, dude. Okay, so for those of you that don't know. Oregon senators are Republicans, the GOP. They walked out, and instead of being part to make a vote, they fled. And so the Oregon governor had called upon the state police to rally them up, physically bring them in so they could be counted present, so that it won't delay the bill, so it won't get dropped off and like reset, right? And it was actually done before in 1988. It was Capitol Police that that picked up a senator, and literally picked him up and brought him in physically, and then so that he could be counted present, so that it because if it doesn't get voted on or anything, or there's not enough people to vote, the bill will completely be dead, and it'll have to restart the entire process over again. So, she basically forced, or telling the state police to go and rally them up. And so my point was, I'm like, that is fucking stupid. That's wrong. I'm like, you're going to be putting the police officers at risk for their careers, for one thing, because you just don't physically force a senator, Democrat or Republican, without any kind of repercussions, possibly. Sure. Okay? And where does this fucking make it legal? Anywhere. Illegal search and seizure, right?
Yeah.
And so this guy comes up and he's like, it says in the Constitution of the state of Oregon that a quorum shall be appointed, and representatives or the senators will be compelled to attend. And he was saying, because it says the word compel, which it means to force, that physical force in violation of the Fourth Amendment rights, is okay because it says compels. So he is interpreting compel as in compel means that we can physically pick them up and then bring them in, go into their homes, get them, arrest them, detain them, basically, and then force them back. Which I'm like, no. That's not what it means. No. If you think because it says one word of compel, that, and like it literally says in the Oregon State Constitution. Hold on 1 minute. Hello? So I was like, no, that's not what it means. And so, anyway, what was I getting at? So like the senators have fled across the border into Idaho. It's been done in Texas with Oklahoma, and rallied up in a Holiday Inn, whatever. But I was like, and he was like, it says it in their constitution, they shall be compelled to attend. They signed up for a job, and so they give up rights, just like, and one of his friends put on there, just like someone that enrolls in the military. And I'm like, enroll? What the fuck? I'm like, just because you give up certain rights, it still doesn't make you less of an American because you're in that position. And people get this understanding of like, oh, if I join the military, I don't have any rights. No, you're fucking wrong. You still have the right to free speech. You still have the right to own and possess firearms. You still have the right to protection of illegal search and seizure. You have all there's nothing that's given up. You still have rights as an American. So you cannot illegally tell the police to go into someone's property in their house, regardless if they're a senator or not, force them out without a warrant. And then he's like, what gives a warrant power? What makes a warrant special and blah blah blah. I'm like, there's a due process of the law. And I kept trying to make this argument. I'm like, states can be wrong. States are wrong all the time. Federal government's wrong. And it's still equally as fucking wrong to not have a warrant.
Yeah.
If you don't have a warrant, you can't arrest them. You can't touch them. Senator or not. I don't give a fuck who they are. As long as they didn't break the law. But and then he's like, it's in the Constitution, it's the law. I'm like, what's the penalty then? I'm like, if you're saying it's the law, what's the penalty? Well, this is not this is not the penal code or whatever the fuck, And I'm like, well, you're saying that it's the law. What's the violation of not being present? What's the punishment? How are you going to break the law?
None.
There isn't. I read that fucking part. I read the Constitution of Oregon.
Yeah.
Nothing says that it's illegal to not be present in Congress or in the state legislature. Nothing says it's illegal. Nothing. It just says they shall be compelled. And compelled could be interpreted in many different ways. And I got into this long, heated fucking argument, man. And he kept coming up with some weird... They signed up for it. They serving the people. Well, if they're doing a bad job, vote them out. And then it's like, oh, well, vote them out. It's not as easy as it could be. I'm like, okay, well, then impeach them. There is fucking due processes about it. If they're not doing their job, there's ways of getting them out of the office. The problem is that there's 30 members of the Senate in Oregon. 18 of them are Democrat, and the 12 are Republican. That means no matter what gets put into that into that Congress or into that legislature, the Dems are going to win 100% of the time. So the only way for them to curve any kind of bill that they disagree with is to do shit like that. And so he kept bringing up multiple times, like, oh, one threatened to kill him. And I'm like, yeah, well, the governor just threatened to violate their Fourth Amendment rights. And I'm like, how do you know what kind of proper force that these police officers are going to use? Yep. I'm telling you what, if just think, police or not, just think of it this: armed men are coming on your property to take you, at the whim of the governor, not by the courts, not because you broke the law. But because the governor just has a hair up her ass.
I've seen Red Dawn, and I know what to do. That's all I got to say. I'm ready.
Well, for real though, like armed men, they're coming up with they have rifles in their police cars. They got pistols on their sides. You haven't broken the law, and they're coming to take you. That's what it is, police or not, and they don't have a warrant to do so. It's because, and I'm like, and so I made the comment of this is the democratic socialism that I keep bringing up, because this is the power and control of the police force, and I'm like, regardless if it's a senator or not, because, and so I looked into the law. This is the actual law, like a penal law. that gives the authority of politicians to use police force. And I forgot. Anyway, it was like really misinterpreted of what, like, her abusing her power and stuff. And I don't agree with it. I don't think that, and it should be scary. It should be scary for everyone that one person without due process, without a warrant, can use a police force to just rally up whoever the fuck she wants.
That's scary. That's fucking scary, dude. And I agree with you. That democratic socialism shit, that's the government with all the power and the people have nothing. No, I don't agree with that.
Stupid.
No, yeah, we fought a revolution against that shit. We did.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. But no, that I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Regardless of being a senator or not, they still have their rights, and it's just fucking stupid. I mean, I went in for like hours and night, and this guy was apparently drunk, and and I still had this conversation with him, like even the day after, and I'm like, but they signed up for it. It's in the law, and I'm like, okay, so I'm like, and there is a protection from the majority, right? And so I tried to give him these examples of like, well, Alabama used to have a majority belief that schools should be segregated. There was a majority belief of that in the state of Alabama.
What year?
What do you mean, the 60s?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was during that time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The majority believed that.
Yeah.
So what happened? It got brought up to the Supreme Court of the United States and found it unconstitutional, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and I firmly believe that this part into the Oregon Constitution is unconstitutional. Just because it's in the Constitution doesn't mean it's 100% constitutional. No. The states could be wrong. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was trying to bring up, and it's like, it was just like a fucking shitstorm, and hippies, man.
Because of hippies, huh? Well, he needs to look up law cases of individuals versus the state. A lot of times, states lose it. They lose all the time because they're doing the wrong. That's one of them. So that needs to be taken up to higher court.
The problem about that, and him and I agreed on this one, it's not used at all. It happened maybe twice. So, like, no one's been hurt yet. No one's really been violated. No one's really thrown up a bitch fit about it because it's happened twice. But, like, the moment that, like, a senator gets his arm broken because someone forced him out and brought him in, oh, you bet, yeah, or shoot, or a senator comes, or a senator's wife gets a heart attack because they're fucking knocking down the front door. It scares the fuck out of them. That is when this is going to be something's going to happen. Goddamn hippies, man.
I know. So what's less on than this?
Stand your ground.
Stand my ground?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like as a topic?
What is
a lesson from this?
No. What's next on the list?
Oh, I thought you
yeah.
said lesson.
Yeah. Update me on that. Because I know Fox News has been talking about that lately. About crackdown on Google. And they're taking down information and pages that involve conservatism and shit like that. That's so wrong.
Yeah, completely. I mean, like, Representative Crenshaw was on. I just shared a video on my page, and he's going out saying that, like, guys are, like, calling them Nazis, like these three people Nazis. One of them had Ben Shapiro, and he's like, two of these people are highly religious Jews, and all three of them had family members die in the Holocaust. And he's like, I don't know what kind of education they have at Google, but and so he's like, what like he's trying to say, what is hate speech? He's asking, and every time I hate listening to these congressional panels, interview or fucking, bring him in for whatever it's called. I hate every single one of them, especially when the dipshit Zuckerberg was on.
Oh, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, when he was getting grilled by the Senate. All those are just a shit show. Nothing ever happens of it. Nothing's ever going to change. You could be of contempt of the fucking Congress, and nothing's still going to happen to you. I mean, the last time anyone was detained for being contempt was like in the 60s. And so they've already given that power. So you can't really even get arrested for fucking lying to them. So, I mean, like, because, like, judicial hearings, or not judicial hearings, whatever, Congress hearings. Because, like, where does it say that you can't lie? You can lie in front of Congress.
Sure.
Absolutely. And every time you fucking go up there, anyone goes up there, they're always all, I don't know what you're talking, I don't know what the part that you're talking about in question, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if I was to see it, I can't pass judgment on. They're all the same fucking answers. And so he was like, what is hate speech? It's like, how do you define hate speech? So Google's like, superiority over another race, and blah, blah, and inciting violence. And so Crenshaw was like, now let me ask you this, like, and this is not talking about speech that incites violence, because that's a totally different topic. But is speech violent? Like, is speech in and of itself violent? And he's like, I don't quite understand the context. And so he just dropped the question, and then he's like, okay, so. Let's go over about the Nazi things. Now, we all agree in the United States that Nazis are bad. I mean, like, we invaded a continent to fight and kill Nazis and liberate the oppressed. And so I think we're all okay with, statements of saying, like, punch a Nazi. But then when you're saying Google or Facebook or social media is saying that, like, Ben Shapiro is a Nazi, then you can associate with punch a Nazi, then that in of itself is inciting violence, but yet you say that's free speech. Yeah, not much.
That's sick. That's so wrong. And what pisses me off is Google is the leader in search web engines. Everybody uses Google. And they have so much power. Facebook, so much power with all this content and taking down these conservative or what they think is like that. That pisses me off, man. Are they wrong for doing that though legally? Because they can take down whatever they want because it's their platform. It's a private business, and we agreed to the terms of using their business. So are they legally wrong for doing that?
That's the argument.
I don't think they're legally wrong. They're morally wrong for it.
Sure, of course.
There's no other platform for us to go to that's similar to Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter, because they all have that power. They all think the same. Monopoly.
What?
Yeah, absolutely.
In a way.
And it's a real fine line between this. So it's like this, as in a comparison. I could go into a public place like a park, and I could preach.
Okay.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, I could protest. I have the right to assemble, and I could be on the side of the street and protest a business because it's a public area. But can I go on your property and start calling you a piece of shit and yelling at you while I'm on your property? No. I'm on the sidewalk, maybe, but I can't be on your property. That's where your private area is, right? Unless you allow them to, and then you'd be like, oh, okay, go ahead and just call me a piece of shit for my front lawn. I don't care. But more than likely, you're going to be like, get the fuck off, or I'm going to call the police on you. So, like, how is that any different from going on a private company's webpage, regardless of how big it is, and doing the same thing. They're not going to call the police on you unless you like threaten to kill someone.
Correct.
But like, I guess in layman's terms, they do have the right. But however, they're going to be contributing to something that's dividing the people and silencing people's opinions, and then it's really going to hurt them in the long run. And it's not only going to hurt them, but it has an impact to hurt us as it trickles down.
So,
for example, I actually learned this in business law, which was kind of funny. I actually listened, but if I'm saying this correctly, and the viewers can correct me, if a business like a brick and mortar store has a protest outside, and let's say it's from an ex-employee that just is upset with management there and is contributing to slander through his protest outside of the store, which he has every right to do so, but the owner can put a stop to that and actually sue the individual that started the protest for slander or whatever it may be against that store, because it's hurting his business. And because of that protest, he can sue them for reparations, which is illegal.
The key word there is being slander.
yeah,
If what he's saying is false,
correct.
if it's what it's saying is false and is hurting the business because of false information, then yes, slander is illegal.
Correct.
Yeah. But if it's true, then there's...
Yeah, which I agree with you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so what I'm getting at is now we got to use that scenario with Facebook or Instagram and Google. It's not slander, it's the truth.
Yeah, but you're still on their property.
legally, yeah. So,
I see where you're getting at, and I'm pro-capitalism, and I'm not for government controlling business. I'm not. I'm against that. I believe in free markets, and and Facebook has the freedom to do that. But then I agree with you that these platforms that are allowing this crap to happen is dividing the country more and more, which is wrong. So does the government should they step in and to mitigate that?
I don't think that... Oh, it's because I have it. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think that the government should get really involved into it. However, what they should get involved with is if, like, let's say, what do you call it, the DV page that just probably lost some revenue because their store page got shut down. Isn't that like terminating like employment based off of their political opinion?
Yeah.
Or Crowder, Louder with Crowder, being deplatformed on YouTube, and so like they're losing employment in a sense because of their political view. Now that I think is wrong.
I agree with you.
And I think there is a legal standing on it. Because like, hey, if I'm allowing you to make content on my page, and you're making money, and I'm making money off of your ads, off of your content, and I'm splitting ads, and then because you have a conservative point of view, I cut off your employment, then I think that has more of a legal standing.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And yet they allow, these what do you call it? These liberals and these socialists to spit their word or their knowledge to the public, and they're okay with that. And a lot of it's hate. A lot of it's pure hate. Like the Young Turks, their platform, they spit nothing but hate and stupidity.
Young Turks?
Yeah, TYT. Oh, fucking. They talk about them all the time. What's his name? Ben Shapiro. He does the Politicon. I forgot the guy's name, the head of TYT, but it's a super liberal media group on YouTube. They've been around for years. Crowder actually dressed up like, I forgot the dude's name, Yank Ugard. I don't know his name, but he would like make fun of him in his sketch and approach him and try to debate him, and he would not debate Crowder. And if he does, he just talks mad shit and gets really mad. He's anti-conservative. He's super socialist. It's so stupid, dude. If you get a chance, watch TYT on YouTube. It's plain garbage, but yet they allow it.
Huh.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh, and Alex Jones goes after him all the time. They hate each other. Alex Jones and that one dude from TYT. They hate each other, man. And yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm surprised you never heard of them. They're trash, man. And people follow them. They have a huge following.
I follow Occupy Democrats just to see like the kind of
Yeah.
and I really find that more than 80% of the stuff that they post is lies, because I've either read it or fact checked it.
Now this too.
Yeah. Let me see if I find an example. Occupy Democrats. I hate that fucking page, man. I think they're fucking. Let me see. Oh yeah, and I think that they incite violence on here, and they glorify that when someone gets spit on. Okay, like this. Just in, the president crossed a serious line with his reprimand of soccer superstar, and by the Washington press, it says Trump just made a delusional and questionably racist tweet in an attack on U.S. women's soccer star. Megan Rapinoe,
That's
said
the one
that
that didn't want to go to the White House.
yeah,
right?
she says I'm not going to the fucking White House.
Yeah.
And so this is their questionable racist comment or tweet. This is from Donald Trump. Women's soccer player at Pinot just stated that she's not going to the effing White House if we win. Other than the NBA, which now refuses to call owners, please explain that I just got criminal justice reform passed. Black unemployment is at its lowest level in our country's history, and the poverty index is best number ever. Leagues and teams love coming to the White House. I am a big fan of the American team and women's soccer, but Megan should win before she talks. First, the job. We haven't yet invited Megan or the team, but I am now inviting the team. Win or lose, Megan should never disrespect our country, the White House, or our flag, especially since so much has been done for her and the team. Be proud of the flag that you wear. The U.S. is doing great. Where was anything that was racist in that? Because of the NBA owners, they don't want to be called owners anymore?
No.
There was nothing racist. There was nothing racist. It's just people trying to find little bits and words from Donald Trump himself to try to make him sound like a fucking complete idiot and a racist, or what they want to call a bigot. But he's not. He's not.
Yeah, here's the spread Trump shame. This is horrific. Trump's policy of making it harder and harder to seek asylum and separating families who do is cruel, inhumane, and leads to tragedies like this. We must stop the deaths. We must restore humanity to our immigration system. Horrific images of the guy that got his little girl killed.
That's really sad. It pisses me off
that they have to use death and tragedies, especially with children like that, just to make the news for their own political agenda. That pisses me off. Leave the children out of it. You shouldn't be putting that. It's sick. It is.
Yeah.
Totally against that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean it's a fine line. I think it's bullshit to really censor conservatives, and it's obvious that all these major corporations that have like any kind of social media or post and exercise your free speech. They're all liberal, obviously, and that's clear. But it's going to have them go down a rabbit hole that they think they're going to be on top of, just because they got all the money, all the resources, but yet they think that they're going to be able to beat the American people. It's because like the DV thing, I was completely against that. I think they just got back up.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Nice.
The Louder Crowder, after his shit with Vox, and then he gets deplatformed on or demonetized from YouTube. Basically, cut employment because he's a conservative. So, like,
well, he's a comedian.
He's still a conservative.
Sure, but his content
is of comedy. Regardless if you like it or not, it's comedy. And you can go on YouTube and look up a bunch of other comedy too. Why don't they take that shit down? Some of that comedy's pretty bad. But it's opinion. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And he has the right to do so. I think some of his shit's hilarious. I like watching it. It's ma'am!
Yeah. Reparations.
Oh my god.
What do you think of?
Oh, that's a fucking joke.
Such a joke, man. The only people that need reparations, if you're suffering from mesothelioma or worked in a Navy shipyard, call this number now. Have you ever jerked off in a 120-degree porta-john? Iraq? Call now.
Ever drink Four Loko?
Oh, God. No, that's so stupid. It's so stupid, man. And this is for the whole slavery thing, right?
Yeah.
No. Why? That's so dumb. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't. Are we going to do it for the Irish, too? The Irish Americans? They had it just as bad.
No, we weren't slaves though.
No, they had it bad. Or the Chinese. The Chinese that came to America. They had it fucking bad, too. They treated them like shit. They built your railroad. They did. Do they get reparations?
No.
No, of course not. I don't know. It's one of those things where I think it's so ridiculous that it's a political ploy. Attract a crowd. That's all it is.
I think it's just so weird, man. Well, like, why? Why would we pay it? Why would?
I don't know. I don't know.
What would we give them?
Huh?
What would we give them?
I don't know. A handshake? I don't know, dude. Like,
We're going to give them the... You know what?
but none of them are alive. There's no slave that's alive.
Really? Yeah. It's like, be like, oh, you guys want reparations? You got to be careful what you ask for, because we gave them to Native Americans, and you guys are going to get your own fucking reservation somewhere in Los Angeles or fucking Detroit. Don't ask for reparations from the government, because you think it's going to be a good fucking thing? Ask the fucking Native Americans on the res, bro. They don't get shit. You know?
I feel bad for a lot of those natives, too.
I do, too.
Yeah, they don't have it good. Dude, their lifestyles are horrible. It's so sad, man. It's so. I've talked to people that grew up on reservations, and the drug lifestyle is huge.
Yeah.
That's all they do. They become alcoholics or drugs, and it's easy money for them because the casinos, they get automatic payment. They get automatic payment, and there's no education.
They don't get money from the casinos.
Some of them do, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Some of them do. Not all of them. No, not all of them, but some of them do. But it's kind of sad because the lifestyles that they live in is just dirty and bad, and they get into drugs and crime, and there's no education.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a strong belief that changing Native American policies should be the top racial kind of lawmaking that this country should be taking. As in, like, yeah, because the reservation life is fucking terrible. The levels of education for among Native Americans are fucking low. Drugs are a high epidemic among the reservations and among Native Americans. Alcoholism, crime. And that's all true, and it just goes brushed under.
No, that's sad.
And these are like, yeah, like and if anyone, these are the people that are still suffering on a big number. And yeah, just just crazy. It's sad.
I think one of the topics we should move on to is that California City against Chick-fil-A. That sounds interesting. What's that all about?
Let me find that article here. This was a Ben Shapiro thing that I came up across. So, like, I think it's at the San Jose airport, and it was they're protesting Chick-fil-A. They want Chick-fil-A to be out of there because they're anti-gay. I got into an argument with an old high school friend about this, and he made a post on Facebook saying, "It's like, oh, damn you, Chick-fil-A, why do you have to make such great chicken sandwiches, but hate gays and like or discriminate or some shit like that?" And I'm like, how? Oh, they provide money to anti-gay organizations that are against LGBT rights and policies and stuff like that. And I'm like who? I'm like, are they denying employment to gays? To trans? No, they're not. And then after they got that backlash, I think they stopped giving money to those organizations. But I think there's still claims that they are. But like, so how are they a hate group? Are they actively denying rights? Are they actively saying like, oh, you can't eat here? Are they going out and beating up gay people for being gay? Are they? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And so that's exactly what San Jose was trying to do. So they need to get the hell out of here. We don't want them in here.
To me, that sounds like a bunch of San Jose college students that have nothing else better to do, thinking they're going to start the new revolution by taking down Chick-fil-A at an airport.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here, man. You know what? Here's a freebie. In-N-Out. If you're watching this, how about you stir up the entire political spectrum in California by just closing down all your stores and moving them elsewhere and see how crazy people go? Because that's a Christian-owned company, and they've done very successful, business in California and parts of the West Coast for years. I want to see the downfall of California and the Californians go crazy when In-N-Out disappears because they're a Christian company.
Come on, damn it! Let's start a revolution.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm down.
All right. And In-N-Out's political donation attracts boycott calls, but will it matter? In-N-Out. Oh, they did. I remember this. It was last year. In-N-Out Burger recently gave $25,000 donation to the Republican Party, prompting calls to boycott the chain. Wait until Californians find out about that shit.
I'm so proud of you, In-N-Out.
You know why? It's because like they have like the perfect like economic, non-socialist of, I don't think it's non-socialist, right?
What's that?
I mean, like their managers make like fucking $90,000 a year.
Oh, yeah.
They pay their employees very good wages. I believe they also help them go to college, so they have like some type of what do you call it, like a grant or some whatever, or scholarship program. Not only that, they get good benefits. I think they also get retirement, and they're so small that the way they conduct business is so successful. Sorry, it's so hard to do this with the echo, but yeah, no, dude, man, like I'm so happy that happened because Californians love In-N-Out. In-N-Out is a California thing. And there's no way in hell they're going to stop going to In-N-Out because of that stupid shit. There's no way. Their burgers are that addicting. So good for you, In-N-Out. Keep doing it and stir up the shit in California. Just keep going, man. I support you. I'm going to go get a fucking double when I get there, animal style.
Yeah, that really stirred the shit pot there. Oh my God, they're Republican.
Good jobs.
They just opened up not In-N-Out, but Chick-fil-A in Seattle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I wonder how that's gonna go.
Gonna go good, I'm sure.
Oh man, I'm gonna go.
No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck anymore. No. I mean, go ahead and boycott the motherfucker. They're not gonna. Nothing's gonna happen. It's not gonna hurt them.
No, because everyone that comes out of the airport is gonna go straight to Chick-fil-A.
I know I will. I love Chick-fil-A. They make good sandwiches. They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for example, the whole Nike thing. Remember the whole Nike thing with Colin Kaepernick, and then everyone, all the conservatives were like burning their Nikes and stuff. You know what? Am I against Kaepernick? Yeah, I am. I'm not a supporter of his. I don't give two shits. I really don't. What he did, kneeling for the flag and whatnot, he has every right to do so. Do I think it's wrong? Yeah, me personally, I think it's wrong, as an American. But does he have the right to do it? Yeah, good for him. Have fun. You look like an idiot compared to the masses that are pure big supporters. But am I going to stop buying Nike products? Probably not, because they make some fucking dope shoes, man. They do. But it's just one of those things where I'm not going to stop doing business with somebody because of something stupid like that. Now, if it was really radical, I mean extremely radical, like Dick's Sporting Goods, just taking out all their fucking guns, yeah, I ain't going to give them any business. Besides, Dick's isn't doing too well. You guys suck. This is what happens when you want to play the liberal agenda game. It's what happens. Your sales go down.
Fuck dicks.
Yeah. Seriously, all these big corporations are a bunch of fucking liars. They are all a bunch of liars. They'll look at what the masses are into. Currently, the masses are into politics. We have never been so politically divided ever. And big corporations are taking advantage of that. Look at what Budweiser did, like the whole pride thing, I mean, that's cool, whatever. I have nothing against that. But do they really support LGBTQ communities? No, I'm sorry, guys, they don't. They just want your fucking money. Because they know that when you're going to Pride Parade, you're going to see a big Budweiser thing going on right there. Like, go buy Bud. This Bud's for you. It's fake. It is so fucking fake. If they were true supporters, they would be, I don't know, donating millions of dollars to these these places. Are they? Probably, just so that there isn't a huge backlash. But it's not true. They don't support you. They don't care about you. They just care about what the cash in your wallet. And it irritates me, man. There's truly no pride in it. And can I stop them from doing that? And what they're doing wrong? No, because if I was in their position, I'd be doing the same fucking thing. I won't lie. I won't. Because the masses is who we want to cater to. That's who they want to cater to. And that's what Nike did.
Yeah.
Nike found Kaepernick. Kaepernick was this big protesting guy. Like, oh, there's millions of people that support him. Let's get him to do a video for us. We'll pay him a bunch of money because he's a sorry sack of shit that the NFL doesn't want back. And we'll give him money to do this video. And he did it. Did the sales go up? I don't know. I don't even think anything changed. Honestly. I still wore my Nikes. I have a pair. I walk around with them all the time. Doesn't mean I support the guy. Just means they're comfortable damn shoes. That's what I see them as. If you don't want to support that company, don't burn the shoes. Go donate them. Go give them to a homeless man or a homeless vet that really needs them. You think they give two shits of what Nike's doing politically? No. They're just blessed they got shoes on their feet. That's what we need to have. That mentality is what we need to have. And it's so divided. Just because you don't agree with what they posted on TV, does that mean you got to go fucking make a big controversy over it? No. No, because reality is those big corporations don't give a flying fuck about us. They just care about the money. And that's it. Because when I see a badass commercial with fucking, a bunch of Joes, going into combat and they're wearing the new Nike fucking, boots and shit, I want to be like, dude, that's fucking fly, man. I'm going to buy a pair. And I did. You know what I'm saying? It's all advertising. It's who you're going to attract. And they attract different crowds. Nike, for example, is attracting the hunting community. How and why? Have you seen some of their line? Do they have Air Force Ones in hunting camo? This is when I want to yee and fucking go to the club at the same time. They know how to market, and they're doing an okay job. But is it dividing people? Yeah, it is. It is. They don't give a shit. They don't. They're gonna make money. That's how I see it, and that's my personal opinion.
It's a good point. I don't give a fuck. I'm the same way with you on that one. Yeah. I don't shop at Dick's.
No, I don't.
I never have, really, and I don't really have any desire to anymore after they wanted to make their policies of rifles at 21. I'm like, yeah. And I still eat at Chick-fil-A, kind of. Yeah. I mean, I don't buy Nike either.
Well,
so
Matt, let me ask you this.
Sat down at a Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, of course.
Like, you sat down and you got this. Dude, it's amazing. It is so amazing. I did it for the first time about 2 weeks ago. I went by myself, right? I after the gym, I was like, I'm going to go get some Chick-fil-A. Parked the car and went inside. The atmosphere is so nice. Everyone's so nice to you, man. I ordered food, and they were super quick about it. They were super nice about it. I paid the dude, and he's like, yeah, go ahead and have a seat anywhere you want. I sat down. Literally, the table, they had a tablecloth on it. The chairs were all nice and clean. There was a little bouquet of flowers in front of me, too. And they would always come up to me, and literally, they're like, would you like me to wipe your ass? Would you like me to blow your nose? Would you like... I said, really? I was like, this is amazing. I only paid $12 for my meal, and you're willing to wipe my ass? Sir, you can do whatever you want with me. Like, that is pretty neat service for a small fast food chain. I wouldn't call them small, but for a fast food chain, that's pretty dope. McDonald's, you need to learn. God.
Yeah, I just think, and I agree with you on that. You don't have to burn your shit, and giving away would probably been way more better off for someone else. And you're right. They're going to cater to buy their product. They don't really give a shit that you're gay, straight, or whatever. They only give a fuck about one thing: green. Yeah. And that needs to be the mentality of really any business, to be honest with you. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's, their living, And, but, however, let's say there's that flower shop here in Seattle. That's been came in and fined them or said that they're breaking the law by refusing to do a customized bouquet for a gay couple for their marriage. So this gay man was going to get married to another man, obviously, and he's been going to this flower shop for a while, and so he asked the owner to for his marriage. And she said no, she's not going to make a custom one. You can have one of these prearranged ones. Blah blah blah, and so he's like, decided no. He told his fiance or whatever, and then he went to social media about it, and so the state actually fined them and was like saying that you're breaking the law for refusing to perform these services because they're gay. The state of Washington, right? So it's at the point right now where the Supreme Court of the Washington had ruled against her, and the Supreme Court of the United States said that they had to be sent back to the state to go through its processes before it go back up to the Supreme Court of the United States. So that's where it's at. It's at in that limbo. But basically, even the state ruled that, like, you're breaking the law of refusing to, perform these services. But it's not like she didn't say that he couldn't buy from her. But she wasn't going to put in the prearranged put in the time to make a custom bouquet for the it's like the cake shop in Colorado. Yeah. He just got another lawsuit because somebody had wanted him to make a sex transition cake for her or him or whatever the fuck it is, and he's like no, and so they sued him.
Hold on a second.
This is a new one, is what you're saying?
It's the same guy.
Same guy that got sued because he didn't want to make the cake for the gay couple.
Yeah.
So to me, that just sounds like the individual that went there to get that sex transition cake did that on purpose.
Of course.
That's bullshit. That should have been. That sounded like they led him into that just to make money. That's wrong. Honestly, if I had a business like that, I catered to whoever. I wouldn't give a shit. But the business owners do have the right to refuse service to anyone. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But it does if they verbally or physically make it known that it's because of their race, religion, sex, or whatever. That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's totally wrong. I don't know if you can consider that hate crime. No?
I don't.
No. But still, it's still wrong.
See,
but
and this is
refusal. Just refusing itself is what I'm saying.
This is where I agree with you on this. If it was me that owned the business, I'd fucking make anything that they wanted. Exactly. Just pay. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
That's just my take because I want the money, and I'm not going to cut off any kind of like group of people for revenue. But however, is it illegal for a business owner to have like a black couple come in and be like, I need you to leave. I just need you to leave. I'm not going to serve you. Now, I think it is illegal if they say, I'm not going to serve you because you're black.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even think that's illegal. Because where does it say that? Where does it say that a private business can't be racist?
I mean, is it illegal to be racist?
No, it's illegal. It's illegal to deny someone employability.
Yes.
It's illegal to deny housing because of their race, religion, creed. And now, don't get me wrong. I'm not supporting this shit. I'm just saying. But is it necessarily illegal for someone to say, I'm not going to serve you because you're gay. I'm not going to serve you because you're black. Or I'm not going to serve you because you're white. Is that necessarily? Well,
no, it's fucked up. It's fucked up, man.
Because
in my eyes, that's un-American. It's un-American.
It is un-American. It is un-American. Absolutely, 110%. And that's where people that do those business practices, that's where the market kind of like takes over, and like over time, those people get erased from the market because then word gets out, and then people will stop going. They're not a major fucking place like Walmart, and even those major businesses that have those controversies, they fix that shit real quick because
why? Because
they're moving with the time.
Yeah.
And those brick and mortar stores aren't. Some of those mom and pop shops are still living in the 60s. I hate to say it, but it's up to them if they want to be big and move forward. And if they don't want to move forward, you fail. That's business. That's free market. You move with the times.
I guess it would be illegal to deny service. There are laws that you have to have handicap accessible into for employees and for customers.
Yep.
So that is not illegal to be racist. But I was instead of just suing them, just stop going over there.
Let's
see
what
yes, it is. But Yeah, I mean, and I agree with you. I'm not going to deny services just based off of that. And if you think that they're wrong, the market and the people are against you, and you'll be out of business and before you fucking know anyway. Yeah.
So on here they define.
So they went into hate crime, not much racism, and I believe hate crime and racism are two different things, but can lead to the same thing. They say a hate crime, also known as a motivated crime or biased crime, is a prejudice-motivated crime which occurs when a perpetrator targets a victim because of their membership or perceived membership in a certain social group or race. Yeah, but that doesn't explain racism. Racism is having a hate towards another race or culture.
That brings up a good point about like hate crime. And South Park made fun of this. You know that if you get the designation of whatever crime you did was as a hate crime, you get an additional punishment for it. Like you get like more time. Yeah, so like if you commit murder, based off of whatever the fucking reason is, and it's deemed a hate crime, you can get more time in prison. But like, isn't all crime hate crime? Isn't there some kind of bias, or isn't there some kind of prejudicial motivation behind every crime that is performed?
I would have to disagree on that.
Now let's go back into like our police officer mentality. If it was a hate crime, it was specifically targeted not because at that individual because of his. It is targeted because of his race or his ethnic. Ethnic? I can't even say it. Ethnicity or religion. That's a fucking hate crime. It's because he's a fucking Jew. I'm gonna fucking hang him. That's wrong. But if you're just gonna fucking hang everybody,
but hanging him is wrong anyway. Why does he?
No, but it's targeting. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Now I'm going to the other perspective of this guy's just a complete psychopath. He's hanging every single fucking person he sees. Doesn't matter who they are. And you got every individual. Is that considered a hate crime, or is that just pure fucking murder?
No, you're right. It's a love crime. It's I'm hanging everyone equally. So because of my love for you guys, yeah, I just love hanging. I love shooting people so much. I'm just gonna give bullets to everyone.
Oh my god,
it's a love crime. No, it's a fucking hate. It's all hate.
I guess. I don't fucking know. Yeah. There's too many fucking definitions here for me to fucking go in depth about it, but regardless, you're a fucking piece of shit if you're gonna hang everybody. You're a fucking piece of shit if you're targeting because of their race. You're a fucking commie. Sorry, that's what you are.
Did Jeffrey Dahmer commit hate crime?
I don't know. I don't want to. Maybe.
Did the Hillside or did Ted Bundy? Did he perform? Did he conduct hate crimes?
I think it was sexist.
Because it was all women.
It was.
Yeah.
Right? The point that I'm getting at is that Jeffrey Dahmer killed only like gay men.
Yeah.
Probably others too. He targeted gay men.
Yeah.
There was a bias towards that.
Okay,
there was a prejudice, probably. Yeah. It's not prejudice in the sense of like hatred, but it was just preference. It's all hate. I mean, it's all like I'm going to inject hydrochloric acid into their brain and kill them because I love you.
It's all hate crime.
Jeez.
I think so.
I can agree with you then. I can. I just still. It's fucked up.
It's equally as wrong.
It is.
To target someone based of their race, religion, creed, or whatever, and then perform the crime. I'll call back anyway. But I think we're gonna have to cut it short on that one.
Sure.
So I want to thank everyone for coming out. Hey, we're going to try to get this all worked out and fixed. Facebook Live screwed me. Thank you if you came in on the YouTube page. But hey, we'll try to fix this better. Make it to go live on Facebook. And yeah, so thank you for coming in. Thank you for watching the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And the Facebook thing did get me a little bit upset today. But however, we went on, carried on, gave you guys my opinion, gave you guys some talk. Follow me on the Facebook page at the Sweet Lew Special. I'm also going to be coming out with my own T-shirt line, so be open for that and prepare for it to come out. And check for when some T-shirts get released. Appreciate everyone's love and support. The Facebook page is getting bigger. It's getting great. Thank you, Jake, for coming out.
Thank you.
to do the podcast. Obviously, I don't have a professional crew. It's just Jake and I, but we're working on it. Anyway, hey, thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching, and everyone enjoy. God bless.